Did you know that there's only 3 requirements for the Historic Trails Award? Hey, ScouterStan. Tell you what, the Historic Trails Award is something very unique. As you can see here, MacD would like to know more information about historic trails, medals, and all the different things. Scouts, we love to go outdoors. We love to go hiking, and a lot of neat trails out there. Battlefields and different places, scenic views. It is gorgeous and highly recommended. Trails are wonderful. And some of them are kind of remote, but some of them are not as remote you might think. So looking into some of the historic trails that are out there is very rewarding as a unit. This should be something that comes up in your annual planning. You need to set up some hikes and some activities so that you can achieve this wonderful award. Now this can be sewn onto the back of the sash, the merit badge sash for the youth. There are also backpack, I believe they're made of leather, that can actually be put on backpacks. So it's an insignia of this award. I'll put up a picture of it. So that's what it looks like. But this award is great. It only has 3 requirements, and we're going to talk about those requirements. But putting this in your plan with your unit is very important. Cub Scouts can also work on these things. Not as intense. They might not be able to do the 5 to 20 mile hike that's needed to do the award, but kind of getting them aware of it. I think that's important, especially for Webelos and Aerolites. They need to be able to see these things, and then when they're in Scouts, in a troop, then they can actually participate and do them. So that's something that that Cub Scouts can do. And briefly, real brief show note. If you're in Cub Scouts and you don't watch the Scouts BSA videos, that's not the way to do this, okay? Because I'm telling the Scouts BSA people and the Cub Scouts they should watch all the videos. You're going to be involved in it in some way. So definitely that's a show note, okay? So you now know. Now, the Historic Trails Award, it's important to understand that this award is usually earned as a unit. The entire troop participates at all 3 of the requirements. The first requirement is very simple. You must locate a historical trail or an area that has a trail. This is something that you have to actually explore, okay, in your area, outside of your area. If you're living in Florida, like I do, there's Georgia and there's Alabama and there's South. There's all different places you can go. You don't have to be trapped in your local area. It's okay if you're living in the area where there's a historical trail. This is a natural. This is something you should be doing. And this is something you want to leave for the Scouts to actually look them up. And there is links in this video down below that has a list by state, and you can actually go in and see those different trails and visit the councils that sponsor those trails. That's all a link, and this is the national website of all of the historic trails. Definitely look for that link. Now keep in mind, this is all a part of your planning. When you do your annual planning, you want to make sure that this has been defined, and that you make sure that you put it on the schedule. Hikes are wonderful things. We need to support that. It's very healthy, getting out, fresh air, seeing the environment, learning stuff from the trail. There are different trails that have different lessons to teach, and that's critical. It's okay if the unit decides to do a trail versus another. That's what the unit should decide. That is one of the beautiful things about planning and getting that started. But doing the research, that's kind of the first requirement here. The next big requirement is you actually have to do this for 2 days and one night. You need to camp overnight near the trail or off the trail. That is in the vicinity. The requirement is very open. There are some trails you cannot camp overnight on, and that has to be part of that plan. As part of that research, it's kind of like number one. You have to get that research done to find out what you can and cannot do on that trail. There's some trails, it's pack it in, pack it out. I mean, that might be hard for some units. So it is very something that you need to consider when you're dealing with a hike, when you're going on these hikes. You need to make sure that your research is done, but you need to do those 2 days of hiking and one night. And that can be done over a weekend. That's totally fine. Now, in regards to that requirement, you don't have to be you need to be in the vicinity, okay, overnight. And that's just one night, 2 days hike, one night. The night that you stay over could be at a YMCA's gym. Okay, you could do a sleep-in kind of thing. You could do that, but as long as it's within the vicinity of it, it qualifies. So some trails don't allow any kind of camping overnight. You go down that trail and that's it. Okay, and it could be that it's a one-day trail. So you may have to get 2 trails to get the 2 days. Or if it's a one-day trail, you walk it back the next day. 1 day out, overnight, and 1 day back. So there's ways you can work that out. And that has a lot to do with the planning. So as adult leaders, we need to focus our youth on making sure they can get that requirement done. Now the third and final requirement for this award is to work with a historical society group and develop something for them, some benefit to them for the trail. Now this could be clearing an area so that there isn't forest fire or something, and getting the wood out to the road so it can be picked up and removed. So there's a lot of service projects that can be done on these trails, and you need to work with the Historic Society or the people that are in charge of that. Don't just go out there and do it. Okay, you can get in a lot of trouble. Make sure that you're working with the Historical Society and getting that done. Now you can also, as a unit, get some publicity, get some awareness into the community through all the different medias that are out there. That is something that can also be done and kind of promote the trail. These trails, many of them have bicycle trails. Many of them are just hiking. So this is knowledge that needs to be conveyed to the general public. So this is another option on Requirement 3. Hey, before we go any further, I want to make sure that you are invited to come to the live meeting. The live meeting is on the first Sunday of each month at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So please join us. Now, you're going to have to adjust for whatever time zone you're in. But please join us and join in. That's a great way to ask questions, and I'm there to answer them. Also, I want to personally thank all of the patrons on Patreon for their continued financial support. Also, if you would like to become a channel member right here on YouTube, hit the join button and go through that process. It's a great way to help fund what you see here. If you don't want to do a monthly donation, that's fine. We have a thank you button. Just hit the thank you button and make a one-time donation. That is always appreciated. And let's get right back to it. Now, once the 3 requirements are completed, the unit leader needs to fill out the application for the Historic Trails Award. And then that is submitted to the council's service center for processing. I believe that once that has been accepted and approved, then at that point, the ribbon, usually is a ribbon that's given to the troop that you can get and put on the flag. And then everybody in the unit that was part of achieving that award would be eligible to get the patch, which has the, well, I'll put it up here. They'll be able to put this patch on the back of their sash. That's some place to display it. They can also wear it as a temporary patch. That's totally fine. And it's important that we recognize these things. These trails are gifts that America has to give to its citizens, to Scouts. Okay? These are great assets that we need to take advantage of. These trails are out there. They're all over the United States. I highly encourage you to go to the description below, hit the little more thing, and then that has links in there that you can actually go directly to the national site where it lists all the different trails, and their contact information is in there. It's great. So definitely do this. This is something that's doable. This is a gift. This is America's gift. All that history and not only just history, beautiful places. There's some seaside stuff that's incredible. You need to take advantage of it and get out there. You know, put the out and scout. Get out and do these trails. These trails are wonderful. Medal or no medal, you know, award or no award. It's important that we do them. And you don't have to do them just once. You can do them every year, okay? Or twice a year. So it depends on your unit. The Scouts make the determination. So you need to be able, as a Scout leader, to put all that information in front of them and let them decide. You know, doing that award, doing these things. It's so incredibly important. So incredibly important. So, and we do a lot for our Scouts. But we need to make sure that they have these things there so they can make those decisions and make the right decisions towards what they want. That's a beautiful thing about it. You could show them all these great things, let them set the goal. Okay? As a leader, you don't set the goals, they do. Okay? That's the important part to understand. But you need to be able to give them that information. And that's the beautiful thing. And once they do the research and they get sold on and they want to do it, that is a wonderful thing. That'll be a great trip. It could be a weekend. There's all kinds of things you can do. Just amazing, amazing. So get out there, do those things. Keep working hard with your troop, and keep doing those things. So, and I'm so very proud of you and all the work that you do for the Scouts and the future of this country. I am so glad that you are in Scouting. So glad. So keep up that good hard work, and I'll see you on the historic trail.